The Nigerian Air Force has denied allegations of bombing innocent communities in Sokoto State. Responding to inquiries, the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboyewa, says the airstrikes were conducted based on credible intelligence from multiple sources and confirmatory aerial surveillance. He adds that reports of possible harm to civilians would be thoroughly investigated, with the media updated. Also, the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fasan Yama says the target struck the vicinity of Gidan Sama and Rumtua, positively identified as being associated with the Lakurawa group, reinforcing the justification for the military action taken. Well, the military is calling on Nigerians to rely on confirmed information from the military to prevent misinformation and unnecessary panic. Well, the task force alleges that there is a significant risk that terrorist groups may attempt to undermine military successes through media disinformation, necessitating caution concerning unverified claims, especially in the ongoing fight against terrorism and banditry. Well, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has urged troops of Operation Hadinkai to intensify their efforts to end the insurgency troubling the nation. He made the call during a Christmas launch with troops of Operation Hadinkai in Maiduguri at Maimalari Cantonment. Well, the Army Chief says the visit aims to assess the state of troops and boost their morale in the ongoing efforts to combat insurgency within the nation. Oluyede lauds the troops for the recent successes recorded in fight against terrorism in the Northeast Theater of Operation.
To the theater was for me to come and see my officers and soldiers, assess their state of readiness, and charge them to do more so that we can find a way of ending insurgency within this region. That was the essence of my first visit. Now to my second visit, which is today. You know, ordinarily, these are soldiers in the field who are sacrificing their utmost to defend Nigeria. And ordinarily, they will have been with their families. So it's just for them to have this sense of belonging, that we appreciate what they are doing and that we are proud of them. That's why we have come to felicitate with them today on this very special occasion of Christmas. And to tell them we appreciate their sacrifices.
The Christmas luncheon availed the Chief of Army Staff the opportunity to commemorate and celebrate the spirit of Christmas with troops of Operation Hadinkai, especially the Christian faithfuls who are very far away from their families. The Christmas luncheon also provides us with an opportunity to foster comradeship and reflect on why we are here, as well as recount our collective achievements and challenges over the past year. The Chief of Army Staff, sir, your return to the theater within a short span of 3 weeks to personally spend time with us underscores your unwavering commitment to the welfare and morale of troops of Operation Hadinkai.
And former spokesman of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesanya, joins us live from our Lagos studios. Thank you so much for making out time on this Christmas Day to discuss this developing story. Air Vice Marshal retired. We do appreciate your time.
The pleasure is mine.
Great. Let me begin by asking you, the Nigerian Air Force has denied these airstrikes, and it says that it carried out the airstrikes based on credible intelligence and confirmatory area surveillance. So what exactly defines credible intelligence in your experience, and how is it verified to prevent such casualties?
Okay, I would like to state that once we are talking about insurgency, we are talking about counter-terrorism and the rest, one thing that's always at play is a lot of misinformation. So when the Nigerian Air Force talks about credible intelligence, due to obvious reasons, I wouldn't want to disclose exactly all the sources of credible intelligence. But from my experience while I was in the military, it is clear that the military has a lot of sources. And it's not enough to just stay with the sources. But at this stage, virtually everyone knows about what they call ISR operations, that is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, which are carried out by our aircraft. So at great cost, these ISR missions are usually carried out by the Nigerian Air Force to confirm the credible intelligence. And it's only after this that military operations are carried out. And all this is done to ensure that there is either no collateral damage or minimal collateral damage. Thank you.
Thank you. But however, this is not the first time. About a year ago, exactly this time a year ago, or thereabout, I recall that incident was December 3 of 2023, where civilians were mistakenly targeted in Kaduna State. Over 80 individuals were killed in that error by the Nigerian military. It accepted its error. So I'm going to ask you, I mean, what are we dealing with? Because you and I can agree that while the military has denied that it has bombed civilians mistakenly in Sokoto State today, it has also said it will carry out a thorough investigation to see if civilians were affected. However, we have seen this in the past. My question really to you is, what could be responsible for this mistaken bombings we have been seeing? Is it lack of training? Is it a failure of technology or deeper issues? What exactly is going on?
Okay, it's important to distinguish between accidental bombing and collateral damage. If we are talking about accidental bombing, it will mean that a location that was not supposed to be attacked was attacked. It's not impossible that this had happened in the past. But on many occasions, what happens is collateral damage that people also refer to as accidental bombing. Basically, according to the Geneva Convention, the Rule 14 of the Geneva Convention, collateral damage refers to minimal damage, injury, or death to civilians in proportion to the military objective that is achieved. Now, there are also cases where what you have is a lot of misinformation that is being carried out by mischief makers, and in some cases, forces that are, of course, sympathetic to the insurgents. I started by saying that information operations is a key aspect of asymmetric warfare, which is what we are currently going through now. And so, every effort to be made by the insurgents, by the bandits and their sponsors to discredit the military. And the whole aim is to sort of take away confidence from them. But I need to let it be stated clearly that there is no way. I've on occasions in the past been in the Northeast, worked with young fighter pilots, and I see the sacrifice they make, the sleepless nights they have, day and night operations. There is no way somebody will be sacrificing day and night, sleep and everything, and at the end of the day, want to go and bomb exactly those people that he is trying to save, to protect. So it's important to know that when people talk about accidental bombing, it's not always as if it's an accidental bombing. You talked about training. The Nigerian Air Force pilots are very well trained. Beyond that, we have aircraft that have precision strike ability. You know, let's take, for example, what was reported today. Without having all the specifics yet, I'm aware that that particular operation took place in an ungoverned space. In fact, that particular place had other settlements there, and the settlers in that place had long been evacuated as a result of these operations of the bandits. So we should then ask, who are the civilians that are currently there? But I say all this without prejudice to whatsoever discoveries may come out later. But let's also note that incidences of this nature are not limited to only Nigeria, and they're not limited to only Africa. But it's important to also, as much as possible, focus more on these successes while also being sympathetic to whoever might have been injured in the process.
Great, great. You've made valid points, including distinction between accidental bombings and targeted bombings, and a valid question as to who are the civilians there. But we've seen a village head from Sokoto today say that they are still assessing the situation. However, they have lost at least 10 people with several others injured. Let me ask you before I let you go. The military is also promising thorough investigation, as they have said, but how do we, one, reduce the margin of error where you have talked about earlier? How do we reduce that? And how do we ensure that this investigation is not just thorough, but objective? Can the military, objectively carry out such investigation by its own self?
It's a good thing that the governors in the northwestern region of Nigeria are actively cooperating with the military in the ongoing operations. I know some days ago I saw a commendation by the Katsina state government commending this same operation Fasanyama, where we have this air component as well as troops of the 17th Brigade, commending them for what they have done in decimating terrorists in Katsina, which is also part of the Northwest. And aside from that one, there have been series of successes recorded that I've monitored online, and that tells us that the story is not as bleak as we imagine it to be. And I dare say that the members of the armed forces of Nigeria in these times, in the past 10 years or thereabout, have sacrificed a lot. We have had these incidences that are unfortunate. Some have been confirmed, some have not been confirmed. But then we should also ask, what is the success rate? Has there been a data to show that in this case, truly, there was a collateral damage? Is the collateral damage beyond that is what is expected by virtue of the Geneva Convention? All these things are critical. But I say, I have a lot of confidence in the armed forces of Nigeria, and I know what some of these young men are doing. They have training on their part, they have technology on their part, and they have civilian support. And I was particularly thrilled when I saw that commendation from the Katsina state government, because it's one of the things I advocated for while I was the spokesman of the Nigerian Air Force. It's important for the military to have civilian backing. When you have civilian backing, it increases your morale and gives you the assurance that that sacrifice that you're undertaking is being appreciated, and it spurs them to do more.
The public trust. Thank you so much. And we do thank the men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Former spokesperson of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal retired Olatokunbo Adesanya. Thank you so much.